Hello and welcome back to the Next Level Her podcast. I'm your girl, Pauline Walker, and this is the space where real journeys, real growth, and real you, more like real me, come to life. I'm so glad you're here with me today because I'm diving into something that has been foundational to my transformational journey. So that is defining the next level. So, as I share, think about what's the next level for you? What does it mean for you? How do you envision it? And most importantly, how do you start moving forward towards it? Now, if you're at home, you might want to grab pen and paper because you might think of something that you want to jot down. And since we're talking about next level, you might want to jot some things down. I'm going to give some tips too. So it'll be great to grab pen and paper to jot some notes down. If you're driving or doing something else, no worries. You can always come back to it. So it is all good. For me, when I think of the next level, I think of it just means so many different things at different points in one's life. So it changes for everybody, different point, different stages. It continues to change. When I was in my 20s, next level meant something completely different than what I think of it now. At that tender age, next level was tied to a job position or a promotion. That was pretty much how I was able to gauge growth for myself. Because I didn't, at that age, I wasn't thinking about, oh, next level, me, knew this. I wasn't thinking about that. I've always been somebody focused on personal development, growth, but I don't know, I wasn't always thinking about next level internally, more like on the physical things like the outward things like the promotions and the job positions and so forth. So looking back, growth for me was associated with titles that were assigned and endorsed by others. But now I now know that external growth doesn't always reflect personal growth. So two different things, at least for me. And that couldn't be more true in my life, really. So I want us to look and pretty much talk about a story that truly brought on next level behavior, okay? And I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with the story of Esther in the Bible. If you're familiar with it, great. If you're not familiar with it, I would really encourage you to go read the book of Esther. I believe it's like 6 or 7 chapters, so it's not very long. It's a short book, but it is so powerful. You get to see her literally move to the next level and the next level. She was really doing her thing. Her next level was grand, if you ask me. The story of Esther in the Bible, it really offers an amazing perspective on personal and spiritual growth that really aligns beautifully with this next level her episode because we're talking about just defining that next level, right? Her journey pretty much highlights several essential moments of transformation that can inspire anyone that's really striving to step into their higher self. So let's look at Esther's next level. Quick background on her story, the story of Esther, if you haven't read it. So you have this king who has a wife. He threw a party and he asked her to come to him. She didn't, and he felt disrespected. And because he felt disrespected, he was all in his feelings. So he was like, you know what? I can't have no queen disrespecting me in front of my people, in front of all these people. So he was really disturbed by it. So they had to pretty much decide what we gonna do. So he asked, for advice, and they were pretty much like, get rid of her because you don't want her to set a bad precedence, right? So they pretty much got rid of her and had to find someone new. They had to get him a new king. And this is where Esther enters. Esther, a Jewish woman, She was adopted by her uncle after losing her parents. And pretty much amongst a bunch of women who were pretty much being put together, groomed, getting beautified, and all this other stuff for 12 months, she captures the king's attention, and her beauty and physical appearance pretty much help her to get promoted. So we see here in this situation, like the outward things, what was the outward beauty and the outer things were able to get her to her next level, right? And of course, she had help from her uncle and getting to that level because he really kind of helped put all that together to get her in, even into the king's space, really. So she literally had to get to this level. And then when she got to that level, this is where it kind of escalated because she had to even get to another level that was going to require more inner work because now she got a city she got a city to save. So here we see Esther dealing with pretty much overcoming fear with faith. It got to a situation to where she could not, pretty much, if you try to approach the king without being invited, you could be put to death. So when she was faced with the possibility of death for approaching the king uninvited, this is where her faith had to really come in. She had to choose faith over fear. And listen, baby, if somebody, I don't know, I'm at the level where Esther is to where I had to choose. She had to have faith because at this point, if things go sideways, she can die from just uninviting herself, if that makes sense. So, but what I love what she did was that she decided, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to fast. So she called for her community to fast for her. She relied on spiritual strength and the support of her community. This is amazing because you see here, she's wrestling with fear. And in order for her to overcome that, she had to pray, she had to fast, and then she got other people on board to do the same thing for her. She was bold, and her act pretty much demonstrated her trust in God's plan for her and her willingness to risk everything for the greater good. That's deep because, I just don't know. I don't know if I can really, I don't know if I'm there. Just to be honest, I don't know if I'm there. But I love this because it really showed her next level moment. This is like a next level moment for her because she was able to shift her perspective from self-perseverance, preservation to self-sacrifice. Wow. And then she goes and then you see her demonstrating her wisdom and strategy and how she approaches the king. She doesn't act, she's not impulsive. She was very careful with how she plans her action. And this is the part where pretty much her uncle got in trouble with Haman. And now Haman wants the uncle dead. And then he wasn't even satisfied with just the uncle dying. He was like, get the uncle and get all his people. So now her whole city is in trouble because Haman is in his feelings because her uncle didn't bow down to him. It's all rooted in pride, right? So this is why she has to go to the king and ask for support, but she can't go uninvited. And so because of that, she's relying on her community to fast for her. So sorry if I seem all over the place. I'm trying to recall the story for you guys, just giving you guys bits and pieces, but please go read the full thing and read it for yourself. So, but you're able to see when her uncle was like, "You need to do something. You need to help out your city because you were put in this position for a time as this." Baby, when I tell you that gave me goosebumps, like sometimes we are in a certain place in our life and we're thinking, "Oh, I'm just here just because." No, sometimes you are put in a position, you are put in a certain situation, you are put in a whatever it may be for a specific task. And sometimes that task isn't always easy. And sometimes we may not always want to accept it. So in this situation, although the ask from her uncle was hard, everyone was depending on her. So you see, at this point, when she decided, when she got the faith and everything she needed to step before the king, and then her plan was to expose Haman's plot against her uncle and the city, she had to be very strategic. And she had to use wisdom. And so she put this banquet on to, pretty much help to create an environment to where Haman's plot will be revealed to the king. And so here, her next level moment in this situation was that Esther had to learn to pretty much lead with grace and strategy and then maximizing her influence. Because she was in a position now to where she had influence and she had to use her influence to save her people. But she had to be strategic. She had to be wise. She had to, be very cautious with how she handled things. And I honestly think prayer and fasting and getting the community behind her gave her the strength to be able to go through with all of this. Sometimes when we do things, it is prayer and fasting that's going to be able to get us through it because we can't do it on our own. And I really like how she pretty much inspired the people in her community because the people fasted and prayed for her. And ultimately, she pretty much encouraged them to stand up for themselves. Her actions empowered the Jewish people and they ended up defeating, the people and they were able to overcome and she was able to save her city. And Esther, in this next level moment, she was, she's not only, she did not only achieve personal growth, but she also helped elevated those around her in her community, demonstrating true leadership. And I think that's the beauty sometimes of our next level. We just don't know how our next level affect other people around us. Sometimes we think what we're doing is just for us, but it's a domino effect. Our next level not only it's changing us and transforming us, but it has the power to change and transform other, people around us. So pretty much the story ended where she was able to secure the safety of her people and pretty much transform a dire situation into a celebration of deliverance. So that next level moment was everything. When I look at her resilience, her strength, her faith, all it just really encouraged me. Look at her life and say, man, what can I implement in that situation? What is applicable to me at every level? How am I growing personally, spiritually, and how am I impacting the people around me? Esther's transformation, she pretty much transformed from an orphaned little girl to a queen who ended up saving her people. That is just beyond amazing. Her story challenges us to embrace our unique callings because sometimes we have unique callings, but we don't always want to answer that calling. We don't want to embrace it. I am in a place in my life where I'm just like, God, whatever you want me to do, the answer is yes. It might not always be easy, but the answer is yes, because I'm in my obedience stage, right? But it challenges us to embrace unique callings, face challenges with faith, and use our influence for the greater good. And the story Esther, this was, this happened centuries ago, but it's a timeless piece, a timeless example of what it means to embody the next level her. So, what does your next level look like? I know for me, I'm in a stage of my life where I've been pushed to focus on the next level within me. As an entrepreneur, I've been able to hit goals and accomplish milestones, but it's not really fulfilling. Those things didn't fulfill me. And it's because I was chasing outcomes and was looking and was pretty much distracted by the results because that's all I focused on. I am I'm very result oriented. I'm a result oriented individual. And it's not a bad thing, but I tend to miss the lesson and transformation on the way to the results. So for me, I have to stop, slow down, smell the roses, because a lot of times I'm like, what roses, what flowers? Because I'm moving so fast, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. It wasn't even on my, listen, I just didn't see it because I'm moving so fast. I'm so focused on the end goal that I'm not enjoying the process and everything that comes with it along the way. I tend to rely on myself versus relying on God. And I'm very aware that I can't do it without him, but somehow I tend to go on my own strength. When you look at Esther, she didn't go off of her own strength. Baby, she was praying, the community was praying, everybody was praying, okay? Everybody was praying, fasting. She did not go on her own strength. And I think a lot of us know that we can't go on our own strength, but somehow I think it's just like a survival thing. So with this next level, for me, it's pretty much just fixing my eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. I have this framework that I'm currently using to operate at the current level that I'm operating at, which is to look up, look out, and look in. I'll have to go into details in a later episode explaining what I mean by that eventually, but that is my framework that I'm working off of right now. So before we can think or step into the next level, we have to know what it is. So think about it. Before you take that next step into your next level, you got to try to define what that next level is for you. And your next level isn't about comparison or meeting society's expectations. Trust me, it'll leave you feeling unfulfilled. It's all about your unique vision of your growth, success, and fulfillment. It's uniquely yours, your experience. So just think about it. If you were to fast forward your life 5 years, who would you want to be? How would you feel? How do you want to feel? What would you want to be doing? For you, the next level might mean excelling in a career or healing emotionally, nurturing relationships, or finding spiritual alignment. There's no wrong answer here, okay? There is no wrong answer here. It is deeply personal to you, so you have to figure out what that is for you. For me, I've experienced all those levels, and sometimes I may revisit those levels at a higher level. I hope I'm making sense with that, because sometimes you just go through sometimes you go through the same lessons, but at a different perspective, if that makes sense. But regardless of where you are, it is important for you to define your vision. Without clarity, it is easy to feel stuck or overwhelmed. When you define what your next level looks like, you create a roadmap, kind of like a guide for yourself, a compass. It does not have to be perfect or fully detailed, okay? It's simply a starting point. That's it. Just a starting point. Simple. So for me, when I was transitioning from my 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, I didn't have a perfect plan, but I had a vision. Now, I did save some money with that transition, and I had like 3 clients before I quit my job. But I knew I wanted to create something meaningful and impactful with my life. And the purpose, and although I wanted that, my purpose wasn't clear. But it was okay because as I took steps forward, my purpose became clearer and clearer and clearer. And sometimes it changes and it's okay. But at the end, my vision was my compass through uncertainties. So it was able to, guide me. So once you have that vision, the steps might look different for you, and the steps might look different today, and it might look different a year from now. But sometimes the vision remained the same. So if you've felt like you're wandering through life without direction, defining your next level can be a game changer if you allow it to be. It might not be crystal clear, but you just have to keep moving and you'll find your way. Because, baby, if you're stagnant, if you're just standing there, you ain't going nowhere, you ain't going to find nothing. So you have to ask yourself, what's one small thing you can do today to move closer to your vision? Maybe it's setting a goal or having an important conversation with someone or simply making time for yourself. Each step, no matter how small, builds momentum. The goal is to keep moving. So here's a quick activity that you can do to help you define your next level more clearly. So it's just 3. I just say write a vision statement. And that vision statement can start with, in my next level, I am. And then you just want to finish the sentence with as much detail as possible. One of my vision statement, in my next level, I am disciplined. Discipline. So hard for me. But I am telling myself in my next level, I am disciplined because, baby, I'm going to be disciplined, okay? 2, you want to create a mind map. Put next level me. And in the center, put the next level me in the center, and then you can branch out little sticks that will show areas like career, relationships, health, spirituality, whatever it is. What does that next level me looks like? And then write a goal or like a quality you want to embody for each area. Just keep it simple. And it doesn't have to be like a goal where you're like, by this month, by this day, I'm gonna be this, da da da. You can just put an intention down and go from there. And then the third thing I would just say, commit to doing one small action for the week. Write it down, set a reminder to follow through and keep it moving. One of my small action, I hate working out, yet I love how it makes me feel after I'm done, but working out is so difficult for me. It's a mindset thing because I can't get past my mind. So I have to tell myself, okay, Pauline, just get on that bike, 10 minutes. That's it. Ain't got to be nothing grand or nothing big, okay? Just 10 minutes. So that's what I tell myself to kind of help me with that. And so for you, you can just figure out what is it for you, okay? I hope these tips have helped you with just defining your next level. Her. I know you're probably thinking, girl, this is, a bit much, but it can be very simple. Very, very, very simple. It can be difficult at times, but simple. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Definitely share this with anyone you might feel like that need the encouragement. that need to hear this. Share it with somebody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And be sure to join me next week as we continue to talk about how you can keep stepping into the next level her. Make sure to follow, subscribe, do all that good stuff, share, and follow me on all my socials, Next Level Her, the Next Level Her podcast, so we can connect and talk, okay? Talk to you soon.